kids.
For me, it's children's church, yes, of course.
You first.
You don't have enough time for all of that. My favorite thing about Lighthouse. Gosh.
Well, I'll let you think. I can
am
answer
thinking.
that one.
Go ahead.
Mine is the diversity. I just love the diversity of our church. The people that we have here are just awesome. We have just such a variety of people from all backgrounds and from all nationalities and from all spectrums of our city. And so I just love the people here. I love the diversity at Lighthouse.
And I agree with that. It's funny, we have young people in here this afternoon filming us, and they keep us young. I'm talking about you guys, like Parker and Paul and Jacob and Dustin, and they keep us young, and then the people closer to our age, I feel like we keep them young, or we try to keep them young, and we have a good time. It's fun to all love the Lord together on different age levels, I think.
Yep.
Truth. We are truth tellers.
I'd have to say my favorite thing about Lighthouse would be probably the pastors and the people here. I love the congregation. I love our pastors.
Munga?
Well, mine is number one with the sweet tea. That's what I get all the time.
And mine is number one with 3 times the pickles. You gotta have the pickles. No sauces on it or anything. And usually I go with Sprite.
Number one, large unsweet tea with lemon.
That is correct, unless we're together, and then we get the number, what is the number that's
It's the Cobb salad. I don't know.
Yes, and we split that with a large
with
unsweet
fries.
tea with lemon, and then a large order of French fries.
It's wonderful. It's wonderful getting old. You can eat together. It's so much cheaper. So.
You know, I'm not a big Chick-fil-A fan. I know that's like heresy around here. But, and I'm not a big fast food fan either. But I'll offer this. I never had what's called fast food until I was about 29 years old. And my first fast food was a Wendy's hamburger, actually a Wendy's cheeseburger. So my fast food standard is in reference to what is better than a Wendy's hamburger sandwich, because that was my first fast food at age 29. Would you believe that?
What's my Chick-fil-A order? Grilled spicy chicken, and they just took it away, and waffle chips. It was my favorite, but they just discontinued it.
My favorite drink. You go first, because I got to think about this for a second.
Well, even though I said my Chick-fil-A was a sweet tea, I love Coca-Cola. Now, Coke is my favorite thing. It's like,
Yeah, when you had a bad day,
I need
just
a
need
Coke.
Coke.
Yeah, I need a Coke.
Okay, mine. I guess I'll stick with my Sprite.
Diet Coke.
Diet Dr. Pepper.
Sorrel. You have to be Jamaican to know that one, or Caribbean. It's a derivative from the hibiscus plant. So when you make it, the hibiscus flower is red. It's kind of reddish. We drink it at Christmas. And it's made with ginger. And it's the most refreshing thing and represents the Christmas season really well. Sorrel. You should go look it up.
Since I started the diet, it used to be Mountain Dew, but since I started the diet, it's flavored water, fruit punch.
Coffee. Got to be coffee.
With cream.
I like a little coffee with my cream. That's how I
Cream
like
and
mine.
sugar.
Yeah.
Yes. Hazelnut cream, to be exact. What's your cream?
Well, there's one called Italian cream. That's my favorite. I love that
hazelnut.
one.
Oh, tea easy.
Tea.
We have never, just so everybody knows, we've never been coffee drinkers. People over the years have given us coffee mugs.
Never been
No
used.
coffee mugs for the hot party house. They've never been used, and that's the truth.
Coffee.
I will always go with tea. Not a coffee drinker at all.
Not in the summer. I ain't going out there.
Not in the summer, not outside.
Unless
But
I'm
in
at the
fall,
beach.
In the fall, outside.
Yeah.
This right here, summer, inside.
Outdoors.
Outdoors.
I'm an outdoor guy, primarily because I was a soldier at some time. I'd rather sleep outdoors than in the local hotel. So I've always been an outdoorsy kind of guy. I don't hunt or do any of that anymore, but if I'm ever able to, take me outside.
Outdoors. I always choose outdoors over indoors.
Dog.
Neither.
What about Blue?
He's outside dog, so if I have to pick something, I'll say dog.
Yeah. Is that really a question? Dogs.
Can I tell why?
Go ahead.
Years ago. Do you remember what I'm going to tell?
Probably not.
Well, I had a car that had, it was a convertible car, and it was we didn't have a garage at the time, it was a carport, and a cat got in my car overnight, and there was cat hair. Do you remember that now?
Yeah. Not good.
He was not happy. And it had walked from the front, it had jumped up on the front of the car, walked all the way through the car, down the back of the car, and then came back again. There was cat tracks and cat hair.
Everywhere. So.
He wasn't happy, needless to say.
Neither. Next.
I'm a dog person. Can't stand cats.
What's your favorite dessert?
When she'll make me some pound cake.
I thought you like
Banana pudding. Yeah, your mama made that. Your mama made that pound cake that was so good. So it would be Sabrina's banana pudding.
Pound cake for me. I love pound cake.
Anything chocolate with nuts.
And I'm
Ice
just
cream,
off
candy bars, anything chocolate with nuts.
And I couldn't care less about chocolate. So we're good right there. He eats all the chocolate and the ice cream.
Yes.
He's the ice cream.
And she really doesn't eat any sweets.
I just like to cook them and give them away. So
Anything with coconut. Now remember that. Anything with coconut. Coconut cookies, coconut cake, coconut pie, anything with coconut. I have no idea why. Maybe it's a little sprinkly thing. But you know they kind of get in your teeth when you, I see you shaking your head. They get in your teeth, but anything with coconut.
Favorite candy would be sweet tarts, and my favorite dessert would be vanilla ice cream.
I love to watch me some basketball.
I like volleyball. Even though I can't play it anymore, I love volleyball.
That's a good one.
walking.
To participate in it would be golf. To watch would be football.
Football. Now, do I need to qualify that? Because I am Jamaican by heritage. Now, y'all will say soccer, right? To me, that is football because I grew up kicking this thing with my feet. Football, right? It's played for 90 minutes, 45-minute halves. There is no extra time. There is no 2-minute warning. You score goals. 1, 2, 3, 4. It adds up digit 1 plus 1. none of this weird stuff about extra point. Was it 7 plus 1? Or is it 6 plus 1?
6 plus 1.
Yeah, it's crazy. What's that? That's throw ball. No. So, all right, I'll give you that it is soccer, but it's football to the rest of the world.
My favorite sport, I love to watch college football, but my favorite sport would be to watch my kids play all their sports, basketball, baseball, and football, and softball. Sorry, Peyton.
Well, it's really hard for me to narrow it down to one, but I picked Joseph because I think that his life speaks a lot for when, you go through a lot, and how he endured all of the things that he went through, and how he used the things that he went through, that the glory of God could be seen, at the end of all things. So Joseph is somebody that I would really just want to say, hey, in reading about you and knowing about you, I just really applaud how your life speaks to me. And I know you said one, but I want to say Esther as well. Esther's, she's my girl. So I like Esther. Mm-hmm.
Well, mine is probably one that nobody ever thinks of. Well, maybe sometimes you might, but I picked Nicodemus because he was in a tough situation where he wanted to know more. He wanted to know the truth, but he had to go find out at a risk. And, he was so smart, so wise. He'd been through all of the schooling. He was the highest up you could be, and he wanted to know about Jesus. So he took a great risk going to meet him in the night.
Yeah.
So that's who I want to meet.
I've always just loved the book of Daniel. I've always loved the life of Daniel. So it would probably be Daniel.
Mine would probably be David. I always loved David.
That would be Gomer, Hosea's wife. And the reason would be this. Now, you know the story. Gomer, the Lord instructed Hosea to get married to Gomer, who the Bible clearly says was a lady of some ill repute. Gomer the prophet did follow the Lord's instruction, did marry Gomer. And you've got to admit, their life wasn't the best. Gomer left him on a number of occasions, went out, had other affairs, became pregnant 3 times. Hosea kind of doubts if all 3 were his. But then the Lord told him something so unique and just so special. He says, go back to the auction, where Gomer literally was standing on the auction block, and claim her once more as your wife. And he paid for her 15 shekels in silver and a portion of barley, wheat. And I'd like to ask her this question. When you saw Hosea standing at the foot of that auction out in the crowd, and he raised his hands to bid for you, what was going through your mind when he eventually paid the full price for your freedom? I'd love for Gomer to tell me what it feels like to be redeemed.
One person I'd have to say Paul. I love Paul. He's just a man that was, crucified, just killing Christians, and then turned out to be one of the greatest men in history. I love the story of Paul.
I don't eat too crazy.
She sure don't.
So, I don't know about that one.
She keeps it safe, don't you?
Very safe. Parker, I just don't think I've eaten anything crazy. Just to be honest with you, what's your craziest?
Well, if you just come to youth maybe once a month, Pastor William always fixes up something. So one time he made this concoction, and I was always taught if you want the kids to participate, then you got to do it.
Yep.
So he mixed vanilla pudding with mayonnaise and animal crackers. And the thing was, is you couldn't just take a bite. You had to eat the whole thing. And it was between me and Kenny Starnes. And you know, Kenny, he'll eat anything. So I couldn't be outdone by Kenny. And that's probably the weirdest.
I can answer that really quickly, or not quickly, but emphatically. We were on a mission trip. Very first time I had been anywhere, and we ate something that I don't still know for sure what it was. It was brought to us, and we prayed real hard, and I ate it. I really don't know what it was, but it was something, and it was meat, and I'm not much of a meat eater. Do you remember that day?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mine would probably be I ate horse in Uzbekistan, so that was.
Thank God I wasn't there for that one.
That was a very unique experience.
Chicken feet. No, not the leg of the chicken or the thigh. Chicken feet. Come on, you've got to get it right. The actual thing, five? I don't know chicken anatomy, but the things that actually walk on the ground. Four. Okay.
3 forward and 1 back.
I'll take whatever those things are that walk on the ground. Chicken feet. That's the craziest thing I think I've ever eaten. And as a matter of fact, just for reference, they're quite good.
Craziest food I've ever eaten. Okay, since I've been in youth ministry, we eat some crazy things. And 2 crazy things that we've eaten. One is honey buns dipped in mayonnaise. And the glaze was mayonnaise, and it was the nastiest thing I've ever had. The second thing was we had corned beef hash in diapers, and we had to eat the corned beef hash out of the diaper. Diarrhea is not good.
Shall Not Want by Maverick. That's at the moment, shall not want. Got everything that I need. You know, your goodness and your mercy. Grace is following me. Got it. Shall not want.
Well, Miss Sabrina has like tons of disciple land. It's our worship motions and stuff like that. There's one I think we do, Learning to Be the Light. Mm-hmm. That one is really good. And I love the motions to that one. And I think just like right now where we're at, if you've never watched Disciple Land, go on YouTube, check them out. They're pretty good.
Ooh. You know me, I have lots of those.
Well, you can think. I'll answer.
Good.
I don't have one because this is terrible to say for a pastor. I don't listen to worship music. I never, other than at church.
How unholy is that?
That is unholy. Have never been a music person. Never. Not my entire life. I've never really listened to music. I love to worship the Lord, and I enjoy church, but I could not tell you the name of a song that's out there today.
Even that we sing.
Yeah. She'll ask me on Sunday what I would like her to sing, or would this be okay? And so my response is, hum a few lines, because I don't have a clue what she's talking about when she gives me a name. So
I, on the other hand, I probably have 100 favorite songs, and that's the truth. Like Good God Almighty and Rattle and I Thank God and what's the peace one? Peace Be Still. I love Waymaker. I Speak Jesus. See,
okay, narrow. You gotta get.
I can't narrow it down.
One.
I used to say years ago, and this is terrible to say this. I would, every time we would learn a new song, I'd say, "Well, we're just going to add that to my funeral list." And finally, I mean, if and when I die and y'all have my funeral, if you just play all those songs, nobody will ever have to say a word. They'll just play one song after the other, and nobody have to speak.
Oh, it's the Big Daddy Wee's new song, All Things New. I don't know the lyrics.
I couldn't find All Things New in your Apple Music library. You can ask for a radio station or ask me to use a specific app.
Play All Things New by Big Daddy Weave. Hey Siri, play All Things New by Big Daddy Weave. Where's technology when you need it?
I couldn't find All Things New by Big Daddy Weave in your Apple Music library. You can ask for a radio station or ask me to use a...
Favorite worship song right now would be Mercy by Chris Brown.
Go.
Yours is gonna be Christmas, ain't it?
Yes, it is.
Well, since it's time for VBS, that is really my favorite. I know it's not a holiday technically, but I mean, everybody to me picks all these big holidays, but I love VBS.
Well, I love Christmas, but next to Christmas, it would be VBS. Mm-hmm. But I love Christmas. Christmas is it. I love the lights, the family and friends and music. Just all of the vibe in the air. I like Christmas.
You do like to decorate Christmas.
I do. Mm-hmm.
Christmas.
Christmas.
Ooh, my birthday.
Definitely Christmas. I love Christmas. Love the feel of Christmas. Love seeing the kids' eyes light up on Christmas morning. It's just a great time of year. Love it.
You go first.
Esther. I love that Bible story, and then next to that would be Jonah. Yep, Esther and Jonah.
Well, I really thought really hard about this one because I think I want to meet this dude too. But remember the man over in Luke in chapter 5 where he talks about his friends all took him and they couldn't get to Jesus, and so they tore the roof open and lowered him down. That man's story right there, because he couldn't have made it without his friends.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, there's just a whole lot in there. So that I love that little story right there.
New Testament, the woman at the well. I have absolutely no idea other than I've preached a bunch of sermons on that particular text, and I just love the story. I love how Jesus would spend an entire day just to win one person. You know, he went through a town and he could have preached to tens of thousands, but he spent an entire day just ministering to one woman. And so I love that story in the Old Testament. Probably David and Goliath.
My favorite New Testament would be, I love the Samaritan woman, but I also love Stephen when he was brought before the Sanhedrin and they questioned him and prodded him, and then they said his face shined like an angel. Remember that? That's one of my favorites. Old Testament would probably be Esther. I love the entire book of Esther. That's good. Of course, I also love Joseph as well. So it's hard for me to have favorites.
The story of Joseph, the coat of many colors.
Favorite Bible story. I'm going to go with the woman at the well. I love this story because it's in the heat of the day, and Jesus just so happens to be in the perfect place at the perfect time, and there he is to cool down and to rest, and here comes this woman who's just shunned by all of society, and everybody turns their back against her, and there he is. He's just there at the perfect timing, and he knows all about her, and he doesn't care. He's just, I'm here for you, and there are no mistakes. And I love God's timing on that one.
You like the mountains. What are you talking about?
Well, you do too. You said you like the beach. I love going to the mountains. I love going to the mountains.
I do too. I like going up there.
Yeah, that's good.
I like
very
the beach.
serene.
I like Surfside up in South Carolina. It's like right beside Myrtle Beach, but it's not as crazy and busy. That's what I like.
Cotar Montenegro.
Again, this will sound dull, but I enjoy traveling, so I really, everywhere I've ever been, I've enjoyed. I mean, really, it would be hard. I'd be very hard pressed to say there was one spot that I enjoyed more than another.
He just likes to go.
I just like to go, like to travel, like to see the world. So.
Oh, that's got to be Israel. I had the privilege of going to Israel some years ago, and in that visit, my favorite place was going to the city of Capernaum. That's a city that Jesus did a lot of his work from. A lot of it is recorded in the Bible. In Matthew, Luke, and John. A number of those disciples, Simon Peter, for example, Andrew, John, and James, when called, I think they were in or from the Capernaum area. It's the area that Jesus taught in the synagogue, and it's the area in which I think it was Simon Peter's mother-in-law had a fever, and Jesus left the synagogue and went by and healed her. It's also the city where the paralytic was let down from the rooftop or through the roof to get to Jesus. And it was, for me personally, just an incredible experience walking into what is believed to be that same synagogue, and to be able to visit a structure which is believed to be the home of Simon Peter's mother-in-law. So yeah, absolutely, Capernaum.
I like Cayman Islands. It's my favorite. Water's so clear, and the sand's nice. It's my favorite, I think.
Oh, Lord.
Zap.
No, yeah. You might need to use that zap sometimes.
Superpower. I'm not going to say that.
Yes.
I'm not going to say it. I don't know what a superpower would be. I guess if I had one superpower, I would open up people's, knowledge of Jesus. Just open their eyes up, just open their knowledge up, open their minds so that they could see Jesus, and so that they would know who he is, what he's done for them, and just open up their heart, and that they could just receive him and everything. I think that when a person gets saved, that's a miracle in itself. So if I had a superpower, I would really just open up one's intellect to who Jesus is, that they would be able to receive him, and just wouldn't have all of these, just insecurities or questions or doubt about who he is and if he really died and if he really, is the Savior. I would just open up. I would just be like, zap the mind, that you just be like, fall out in the spirit and receive him. That's what I would do, yes.
Well, mine will be the ability to control time, because sometimes you wish that you could just live in that moment for a really long time. And then there's times when pastor's sermon is too short and we don't have time to finish. So I need to freeze time so we can do what we want to do. And then sometimes I just really want to fast forward through it, because house cleaning, if I could just fast forward through that would be really good.
I would enjoy flying, I think. That would keep me out of trouble. I don't want to know everything. I don't want to be able to see everything. I think just being able to fly and it'd be kind of cool. Plus, I wouldn't have to deal with traffic. I do have a road rage problem. I really do. So that would I would be more holy if I could fly. So that would be a good one for me. So.
Is this confessional time?
Yes, I don't know.
They may not like us anymore after this, right? I'm going to pass on that one. That's scary to me. I might be dangerous if I had superpowers.
To love unconditionally.
Oof, superpower. I've been asked this question quite a bit. I don't think I want to fly. I don't want to be invisible. I want to be able to eat anything I can without gaining weight. That's my superpower. And have abs, like, that would be great. I mean, I love to eat. Big boy likes to eat.
If I had to choose what I want to eat, it probably would be some good vegetables and cornbread. I don't need cornbread, but I love cornbread. So good vegetables and cornbread. I don't think I'd ever get tired of that.
Mine would be my mom's chicken and dumplings.
Hamburgers.
Trail mix.
Well, it's more in the preparation. Anything with curry will work for me. Curried chicken, curried goat, curried beef, curried rice, curried vegetable.
Anything curry.
Did I tell you I like curry? Yeah. So anything curry will work for me. Yeah.
I can eat hot wings every day of the week. Different flavor, any time I can eat hot wings. It doesn't matter who makes it, I can eat it. I know all about the wings in Monroe.
I've gotten so much. You go first.
Okay, so I have two. One has to do with marriage. When you're arguing with your spouse, is to just know when to keep your mouth shut. That has saved me a gabillion times. And the other one is from Pastor Hugo, when he simply asked me, "Can you handle this?" And that was all he needed to say. So
I think mine would be knowing when to speak and when to not speak. Knowing when it is your load and when it's not your load. Knowing how to not carry something that you don't have to carry.
I don't know if this was actually advice I received, but it's basically part of our logo is to love God and love others. And that's been out there for a long time, and no one ever gave that to me directly, but that kind of speaks all of it. If we can love God first and then love everybody else, I don't know that you could top that. Can you top that?
Well, no, probably not. But again, I know who it came through. I'm not sure it came in the form of advice, maybe more so teaching. A pastor that we had by the name of Nain Brady. We were in a denominational church that basically the little group of churches that we were part of didn't teach tithing, but we went to Nain Brady's church and he taught us to tithe. Mm-hmm. And it's the one thing probably that I've learned in life that has probably transformed our life more than any other thing that we've done in a practical sense. Mm-hmm. Is learn to give to God. It's transformed our personal financial life, and that's transferred now over into the church because we've instituted those principles into our church, and it's really I think at the heart of why we're able to do all the things that we do as a church body is because we practice it, not only tithing. We give 20% of our income as a church. We go over and above. We do it personally. We do it as a church. And I don't know of any advice I can give anybody that would probably be more transformational in a practical sense than tithing. So,
wow, the best advice I've ever received. I believe it is this. If you're ever in an ambush, do not lay down, but keep moving. I translate that to mean if you're ever confronted with a life or death circumstance, that is not the time to stop and quibble. That is the time to press forward with everything that you have.
Oh, best advice. Simple. It's as simple as can be. Just brush it off. When you get knocked down, get back up, brush it off, keep going, keep pushing. Don't let things weigh you down. Don't let things bother you.
Well, Miss Sabrina, she always says that ain't necessary or something ain't necessary. So I would probably ask myself a lot of times, is this really necessary? That right there, that little sentence can sum up a whole lot in life.
Explain the not necessary. Everybody would think,
Because if something, okay, so not necessary. If we are decorating like today for VBS, and we are trying to make something work,
yeah,
and it's just not working, we can say, that is not necessary. That's the context.
Right, yeah. So mine would probably be, to my younger self, is to be more wise in picking my friends and who I put my confidence in. That would probably be mine.
Mine would be to spend more time with my children. If I could go back and, not put so much emphasis. I put so much emphasis on church that I think I didn't neglect my children, but I didn't spend as much quality time, as I would probably do now. If I could go back, I would make sure they had all the time, all the fun, all the time they needed. So
I agree with that. I see young parents now with younger children, like our grandchildren's age, and everything's so serious. And I remember I was just like that, and I was very quick to get on to them and quick to correct them and quick to make sure that they were just perfect. When looking back now, and I look at our little grandchildren and other children, and I think, my goodness, let up on them and let them have fun. Just get down on the floor and waller around with them and run and play and eat ice cream and, make a mess. Everything can be cleaned up. It doesn't have to stay perfect. Your house doesn't have to. They're going to grow up and they're going to be gone. And you need to have lots of fun. Yeah. Lots of fun.
Today is the only day of value.
If I could tell my younger self one thing, would be to go to school. It's not fun going to high school for a 5th year at all.
Mountains.
Beach.
Beach, mountains. I love both.
Yeah.
Can I say both? I love the beach, but I also love the mountains. So.
But the beach, any day. And maybe among some of the reasons, there is a reason for that. You see, although I grew up in the mountains of Jamaica, I didn't go to the beach. Everybody thinks you're from Jamaica, you spend your days at the beach. I never did go to a beach until I was kind of, a big kid. And I went in the water, and first it's salty because I was always accustomed to swimming in the river, and there were fishes, and there were jellyfish, and I got stung. So I remember something about the beach, which was positive, and it is this. Ready? Remember I told you about getting ambushed? Don't stay in the water if you're being stung by a jellyfish. But really, the beach for me has always been a fun place. And the mountain is where I live, the beach is where I have fun.
I'm a beach guy. Mountains are, I'd rather go to the beach, except for the sand part. The dirt part of the beach stinks, but the relaxation is great.
Well, I want to go to Hawaii.
Oh, Lord, we had to pick just one, don't we?
We can go together.
Then can we do 2?
Yeah.
Okay.
So where do you want to go?
Okay. This is hard. So if we go together, we can go to Jerusalem. We can go over there,
Right,
right?
yeah.
We can go to the promised land and all that before Jesus comes back. So we can see before and after. And so my other place is a little fishing village. I know it sounds crazy, but it's where my ancestors from my great-grandfather is from, a little fishing village in Italy called Genoa. And I would love to go there and like see the places that my family there saw and maybe track them down a little better.
Australia. We almost made it last year. Lord willing, we're going to make it one day. That's a place I've never been that I've always wanted to see. So
I'm going with him. We were close last year,
Yeah,
weren't we?
we were close.
Had the pandemic not stopped us, we would have been there, right? We were close, so.
Australia, without a question. Australia. Maybe it's because it's the furthest that maybe I can get from anywhere that I've ever been. But yeah, to Australia. I look forward to that.
It'd have to be, my dream place to travel would be either Maldives. I want to go to those, stay in those little huts on the water. I really want to do that. Or Israel. I haven't got to do Israel yet. And those are 2 of my dream places. I know there's 2 opposite ends of the spectrum. One's a lot of dirt and rock, and one's a lot of beautiful water, but those are my 2 places.
Mine is Proverbs 3 and 5 and 6. Proverbs 3, 5 and 6. Trust in the Lord with all your heart. Lean not to your own understanding, and in all your ways acknowledge him, and he will direct your path. That is that's my verse I live by.
Mine would be, because just of the whole thing it means for our family, would be Psalms 139, verse 14. I will praise thee, for I'm fearfully and wonderfully made.
I love Jeremiah 29:11.
Romans 8:28. All things work together for the good of those that love the Lord and are
Called according to his
called
purpose.
according to his purposes.
My favorite, Jeremiah chapter 1, verse 1.
My favorite Bible verse, and it comes from Revelation 25. And it is God indeed who makes all things new. And for me personally, I am so encouraged that I have a renewed life. Because if it weren't for God and his goodness to me personally, I wouldn't have, I believe, an opportunity to walk in what the Bible calls the newness of life. God has given me an incredible life. So when I heard that song by Big Daddy Weave, You Make All Things New, it brought me to a place of just thankfulness and confirming God's word from that passage in Revelation 25 chapter, that you indeed make all things new. I have renewed hope, I have renewed vision, I have renewed purpose. I am reborn every day. And every day for me really is indeed a new day. And for that I am thankful.